I'm back. So I was busy being dead for a while, but I decided to come back because something interesting happened. A new Sonic game came out, and I'm sure people that watch this series are like, "Oh, Loremaster, like Sonic Frontiers has come out and it's really good. I want you to talk about it." That's what I'm here for. Right now, I'm going to talk about Sonic Frontiers. This is going to be a little different of an episode. Today, I am not going to be just talking about the plot. Of course, I'm going to be doing that. But I'm going to do my own little mini review, what I like about the game, and just overall how I feel about it. So with that out of the way, 3, 2, 1, start of the game. It starts with Sonic, Amy, and Tails on Tails' plane, I forget the name. And suddenly, big portal thing comes up, they fly into it, boom, Sonic's in Green Hill, somehow. It's first level Green Hill, yikes, but it's fine. Because after you finish the less than a minute long episode, you are just in an open world. Big ethereal voice says, "Hey, do this stuff." It's like, sure. So you're going around collecting these little gears that you can use at like little altars that you can use to go into cyberspace, which is where Sonic was at the beginning of the game. After a bit of exploration, you find Amy, sort of in this little capsule thing. Sonic frees her, but the force that was trapping her was transferred onto him. He didn't get trapped, but it's like setup. Big setup. So Amy's just like kind of ghost. Not sure how to explain that part. Like, she's like half there, half not. It's weird. It's really hard and fast with the rules of what they can do. Another thing I forgot to mention. There's these not Eggman-looking robots just everywhere. Everywhere on the island. And it's a little confusing. Because, at the start of the game, we see Eggman just putting one of the gears into the into one of the altars. And it's like, oh shit, something's going up. So Eggman's trapped in cyberspace, a different part of cyberspace. But the robots definitely don't look like Eggman. And then there's this child. Human-looking child named Sage. We will get to her and my thoughts on her. All right. So the force on the island. There's Sonic. There's his trapped friends. There's Sage. There's the robots that Sage seems to be controlling somehow. And then there's the Coco. They're little rock babies. I like them. But they're not. But they are very important. Actually, I was almost going to say they weren't important. They are not important. So let's get that out of the way. So the Coco are like the sort of reincarnated version of this super ancient, super intelligent, super powerful species called the Ancients. Kirby, they called them the Ancients. Very unoriginal, but whatever. But these Ancients look a lot like Chaos Zero from Sonic Adventure, which is sort of like connecting them to the rest, to like the greater canon of the game. I like that. And I like how you find that out. Like, it's implied through like little cutscenes you get, but like the real answers are only through voice logs that you get. Okay, I'm getting sidetracked. The Ancients, like, they kind of split off. One became the Chow, and one became the Coco. Anyway. So Sonic's running through the island he's on. This just Evangelion Attack on Titan thing called Giganto shows up out of nowhere. It is huge. And Sonic gets grabbed and gets his ass just thrown through like 2 mountains and is fine. Man just gets wrecked and he just gets up. It's so funny. Oh my god. So now he has a new goal. Okay. I can't defeat this thing without the Chaos Emeralds, so let me go get those. So you go around, you collect like Amy's, whatever they are. I don't even remember what they're called, but like they progress the game basically, and you get Chaos Emeralds as you go. Speeding through this because this first island isn't really important to the plot at all. You get all 6, or you get 6. Then you face the Evangelion mech again. Turns out the 7th one is like on its head, powering it. So already we got supersonic. And okay, let me diverge into the review part. I love this concept. I love the fact that you can get supersonic very early for these boss fights, and the boss fights are awesome. Just gonna put that out there. I'll have a whole section on that later. Anyway, so this very fun boss fight occurs with Supersonic and the Evangelion unit, eventually ending with Supersonic just blasting straight through it, killing the unit, and just sort of helping Amy become Amy again. So then Supersonic goes to another island, where surprisingly there's these little lasers that come out. They hit Sonic, and they take the emeralds out of him. And I don't understand this, because like, if the technology the Ancients used could hit Supersonic out of Supersonic, why can't the Titans do that? Why can't Evangelion make Giganto do that? Because they're made by the same people. It just doesn't really make sense why they would. One would not be able to do that while one would. Anyway, this new Titan mech. Oh my god, I don't know how to pronounce its name. I'm just not going to. I'm going to call it the Dragon, but it's not. That's not what it's called. So it's called. Yeah, this like it flies. It's like constantly flying, and that's something I actually like better on the second island, is that you can always see the Titan just flying overhead. Now on this island, Knuckles is here. It turns out he was transported to cyberspace too. Sonic frees him. More of that power that trapped Knuckles and Amy gets passed on to Sonic. It's like sort of corrupting him. Metal virus. But anyway, you keep collecting Knuckles' memory tokens. When you find out there was actually a reason that the Ancients went extinct. And it was because of this huge, like, basically moon. It's basically a Death Star called the End. And we'll get to him. We'll get to the End. 'Cause I have a lot of things to say about the End. Just, oh boy. Ooh boy. Yeah, so it's named the End. And it, like, it's basically just a Death Star, but it doesn't destroy planets. Like, it's just a moon with the death ray. So the second island is just you doing the same thing you were doing on the first island, like collecting the Chaos Emeralds to fight the big giant mech. The mech, as I said before, was always flying. To get the 7th Chaos Emerald, which is also on its like body, it like Sonic just grabs onto it, and it like kind of goes up and like takes him for a bit of a ride first. And I do think that's a really cool visual. So anyway, already you get the Chaos Emeralds again, and this time you're just constantly in the air. I mean, you were constantly in the air before, but both of you are in the air consistently. And like, after a different but still very fun battle, Supersonic blows up the mech, and it's sort of like this kind of, it feels like a sort of weekly cartoon thing, where like it's the same cycle, but like also at the same time it's very different. Anyway, third island, same lasers, shoot them down. I hate this island. I hate the third island because it just feels awful in terms of gameplay. But on this one you find Tails, and I'm just going to talk about Tails' characterization right now. It's so much better. It is so much better than in Forces, where man was just a wimp. It was awful in Forces. It's so much better now. And just, I wanted to praise the writers of Sonic Frontiers for getting this man right. sucks that we couldn't have people like Shadow redeemed, but whatever. I'll take what I can get. Anyway, the third boss is called the Knight. And this thing is just Metal Face from Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Or at least it feels like Metal Face. It doesn't talk, which would have been fun. But like anyway, it's just... I like the Knight. I like all of the bosses here. The Knight just feels a bit too Metal Face to me. And yeah, I know Giganto was just very Evangelion. Which, like, yeah. Ugh. Alright. Anyway. This whole time, Sonic has been, like, getting more and more corrupted, and Sage has been talking to him. He's like, hey, get the hell out of here, you're gonna die. It's like, no, just tell me what's going on. Just like, no. And then Sage leaves. Like, those happen a lot. It's weird. But at the end of the day, again, all 7 Chaos Emeralds, there's really not much too important that happens like in between the boss fights. So you get Supersonic again. You get arguably the coolest boss fight in Sonic history with the Knight boss fight, because it ends with just a straight up anime trope. Where just like Sonic like swings the blade, swings down, and just cuts his queen in half. It's that anime trope. I think it is so funny that Sonic Frontiers does this. There's the 4th island, which has an unpowered Titan called the Supreme. Turns out that Eggman was controlling things or was controlling Sage the whole time. Not everything. Sage was acting on her own free will for the most part, but Eggman was the one giving out the orders. Eggman escaped cyberspace, and Sage, like, kind of takes control of the Supreme. Or, no. She, like, uses herself as, like, a power source for the Supreme. And, like, yeah, like, before that, Sonic collected 6 of the Chaos Emeralds. Eggman gives him the 7th one. And he, like, fights the Supreme, beats the Supreme in a way I can't remember. But, like, it's a real, like, these are just really cool fights. But anyway, back on the plot. Sonic gets, like, fully corrupted. So, they do the my friends are my power cliche, but like, whatever. Who cares? Sonic does that all the time. It's no big deal. So Sonic is no longer corrupted. He like tells Sage, hey, you were like meant to control this thing, so fucking do it. So she does. Sonic turns super again because he didn't get the Chaos Emeralds knocked out of him. I do think that's cool. And then we have the Sonic Adventure 2 era, like, final battle in space with the end. I hate the end. I hate it so much because it is, like, not a good boss fight. That is the only reason I just hate it so much. And a big reason why is that it's not the same as the other boss fights, which are amazing. This boss fight is like a Galaga-esque minigame, kind of. It's so bizarre that they would decide to do this. Like, why? Yeah, I know there was like a minigame, and I can't remember if that was required or not. But like, it's stupid. Like, you could have made it good. You could have made the end a good boss fight. And I like the end. I like how the end's boss fight concludes. There we go. So basically what happens is Sonic just punches through it, and it explodes. It's a fun visual, but like, Sage dies. Yeah, because the Supreme explodes. Sonic goes back to his planet, still not named. And, like, they all go along their merry way. Eggman reactivates Sage. It's cool. Wow, that actually lasted a lot shorter than I thought. All right, on to the review part. Do I think this game is good? Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a good game. It definitely has its problems, like the end. The pop-in's really bad. And just overall, the third island as a whole, just because it doesn't feel like it feels like an entirely different game and not in a good way. Like, I just don't like it. Overall, the game is really good. What else do I have to talk about? Oh yeah, the fact that it made the comics canon, or some of the comics canon. They put like characters from the comics, like they mention them, they don't show them. Sucks, but hey, cool. Like it's fun, it's nice, and I look to see who wrote this. Like, okay, who wrote this? And I see it's Ian Flynn. Ian Flynn is one of the best Sonic writers, period. He mostly works on the comics. He did like the golden age of Archie comics, and he's still currently writing for the current run of IDW. But he was the head writer of the first two arcs, the Battle for Angel Island and the Metal Virus. Those arcs are really good, and he also wrote issue 50 and 51. Also are extremely good because of what built up to them. Like, issue 50 is like the big like explosion of like everything from like issue 29 to 49 has like built up. It's a lot of fun. Please read them. Read them and like the side stories they're coming up with, because those are canon. And they're nice, and it's nice. They're $4 a piece. They release monthly, and just overall, it's a lot of fun. Like a lot of fun. Anyway, okay, I'm getting sidetracked. Do I have anything else to talk about? Oh yeah, I should probably say what I'm doing next. Yeah, I don't really have anything left to say about Sonic Frontier specifically. But I do want to say, I do want to do these more smaller scale episodes a lot more often. Because I don't like covering huge series like FNAF or Sonic. My next... What am I going to do next? Right. Yeah, I'm not going to say what I'm going to be covering next. But no, it's a pretty recent indie horror game that recently got a sequel. And that's all I'm going to say. That I hope you look forward to that. I am the Loremaster. I'm alive again. Goodbye.
Change the world. My final message.